I'm Mehdi Amini, CEO of United Legacy, and I welcome you back to episode 17 of Behind the Curtain. The daily changing news headlines, encompassing everything from political turbulence on both sides of the aisle, the potential demise of the US dollar, and banks closing their doors, to the looming specter of a third world war and the upcoming 2024 election cycle, can feel overwhelming. It's crucial to comprehend how this influx of information shapes our financial legacy, both in the present and as we venture into the next decade of our life. In today's episode, we will delve into and dissect some of the pivotal financial shifts of 2023. This includes new mortgage lending fees introduced by President Biden and the negative growth trend in the realtor sector, and the use of lumber as a leading indicator for housing. We will also explore whether Airbnb market is emerging as the new subprime market, as well as provide a list of the 15 most expensive and affordable cities to live in. Furthermore, we will analyze CPI data and its link to inflation, and finally discuss the potential fallout from investment firm Tide's equity going under. So accompany me as we shift and lift the veil on these compelling developments. Let's embark on this journey together. Biden, new law on mortgage fees. New mortgage fees will kick in soon by the FHFA, saving low credit scores thousands by charging higher credit scores more by raising the mortgage fees on those with better credit and lowering them for those with lower credit. The FHFA defends this so-called misconception, but the below chart illustrates the truth. The LLPAs, or loan level price adjustments, set by Fannie Mae demonstrates that those with good credit and at lower risk of default will be paying more for their mortgage. By contrast, borrowers with lower credit scores will be paying less. Very similar, while borrowers who put less than 5% down on their mortgage will have their fees reduced no matter their credit score. Those that put down 15, 20, or even 30% will often have their fees increased. In the past, pricing on loans was based on risk-based pricing, meaning the lower the credit score and the higher the loan to value, the more fees are charged, as these loans are at the highest level of risk for default. Today, FHFA is encouraging these low credit score borrowers to put down only a small down payment. Default rates for 20% down and 720 FICOs are about 5%, where 4% down payments with 620 to 639 FICOs are about 50%, a tenfold increase. Think of it as a bit of mortgage socialism. Realtor growth just negative. I've been talking about this for a long time, maybe a half a decade, that the growth of real estate agents is going to decrease. Well, the growth of real estate agents in the United States has been closely mirroring the trends in real estate prices over the past 3 decades. When home values are on the rise, so is the growth of realtors. Everyone in San Diego County was a real estate agent. In fact, I believe there's numbers like 450,000 real estate agents in the state of California. I saw another article this week that almost 67% of the transactions happen with 1.5% of those real estate agents in the state of California. That's incredible. The 95 or 90% of most of the business is done by 10%. That's incredible numbers. Now, home values start to decline in California or across the United States, or we can call it a downward trend. What we're going to start seeing right now is realtor growth also is experiencing a negative impact. According to the National Association of Realtors, NAR, the growth rate for registered realtors turned negative in May of 2023. This marks the first contraction in realtor growth since the 2008 Great Financial Crisis. In 2006, the total number of realtors reached its peak of 1.3 million, but declined by about 25% to as low as 983,000 agents in 2012. In 2022, the total number of realtors peaked again at 1.6 million, surpassing the previous high in 2008. Therefore, although we are currently witnessing a decline in realtor numbers, the total count, as reported by NAR, stands at 1.52 million, still exceeding the peak seen in 2008. The average number of realtors over the last 4 decades has been around 1 million, indicating that a 33% decline would be necessary to return to the long-term average. In theory, this suggests that there is still a significant distance to cover, and it's likely that we're only in the initial stages of this housing downturn. However, the signs indicate that the reality of the situation is beginning to set in. Lumber as a leading indicator for housing. Lumber prices have a significant impact on housing prices as they play a crucial role in construction industry. Fluctuations in lumber prices directly affect the overall cost of building houses. When lumber prices rise, it increases construction expenses and leads to higher housing prices. On the other hand, a crash in lumber prices indicates a rapid and significant decline in the cost of this essential construction material. This has implications for the housing market, as lower lumber prices can potentially decrease construction costs and make homes more affordable for buyers. It's important to note that lumber prices typically lead housing prices by 6 to 18 months. For example, lumber reached its peak at around $1,700 in March 2022, but has since declined by approximately 75% to around $450. However, it's crucial to recognize that the price of lumber is just one of many factors influencing the housing prices. Labor costs, land availability, and demand-supply dynamics also play significant roles in determining home prices. Therefore, why we might experience a crash coming, we need to keep our eyes on the lumber prices, as it may suggest potential relief for the housing market. It is not the sole determinant of housing affordability or overall market conditions. Low inventory and low interest rates over the past few years have contributed to firm prices in most areas. Homeowners with sub 3% fixed interest rates are reluctant to sell and purchase new properties where their rates and payments would likely double. Could the Airbnb market mimic the subprime crisis? Is the potential collapse of the Airbnb market reminiscent of the subprime market crash of 2007? In San Diego alone, there are 6 times more Airbnb listings than homes available for sale. Nationally, the number of Airbnb and VRBO listings in America exceeds the number of homes for sale by 64%. This surplus inventory, absent during the great financial crisis of 2008 due to the absence of short-term rentals, has the potential to trigger a decline in home prices in 2024. Numerous major cities have already experienced drops in Airbnb revenues. New regulations in major cities hasn't helped these declines, further contributing to the potential troubles. For instance, Austin, Texas has witnessed a nearly 60% decrease in Airbnb revenue, while Phoenix has seen a 50% decline. Areas such as San Diego, Riverside, and San Antonio have experienced revenue decreases of 35 to 40% per listing. Many property sellers, unable to achieve their desired sale prices, have resorted to listing their properties on Airbnb instead. We anticipate that the impact of the Airbnb bust could mirror the subprime crisis in the housing market of 2008. The sheer volume of Airbnb shadow inventory is staggering, capable of instantly doubling the number of listings should all owners decide to sell simultaneously. Presently, sellers hold a position of strength due to low inventory levels in 2023. However, the pressing question remains: when will short-term rental owners reach their breaking point? How much further must revenue decline? How long can they sustain breaking even or enduring losses before throwing in the towel? The extraordinary stimulus measures implemented in response to the COVID pandemic have enabled owners to persist longer than usual, but when will the resolve come to an end? "15 most expensive cities to live according to U.S. News and World Report." The top 15 most expensive cities in America may surprise you. The data was categorized into 4 indexes using to determine Americans' preferences. The 4 indexes are the following. Number 1, quality of life, which includes crime rates, education, commute, air quality, and healthcare. Number 2, value index. Number 3, desirability index. And number 4, job market index. So here it is. The number 1 most expensive city in the United States of America is my hometown of San Diego, California. San Diego, California comes in as the most expensive place to live, followed by Los Angeles, California, number 3 is Honolulu, Hawaii. Now, San Diego and Honolulu were both in the top 10, but not in the top 5 as of last year when I was doing our lectures. We have an office in San Diego. We have an office and a location in Honolulu, and these are the most expensive cities to live in. Number 4 is Miami, Florida. Number 5 is Santa Barbara, California. You know, Miami, a lot of people moving from New York that was pretty expensive, and now they're moving to Miami. Then you got Santa Barbara with the beautiful, beaches and scenery there in Santa Barbara. Number 6 is San Francisco, California. Number 7 is Salinas. Number 8, Santa Rosa. Number 9, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Number 10, Vallejo and Fairfield, California. Number 11, New York, New York. Number 12, Boston, Massachusetts. Number 13, Seattle, Washington. Number 14, San Jose, California. And number 15, Sacramento, California. "15 most affordable cities according to U.S. News & World Report, using the same data as the most expensive cities in America." Here is a list of the most affordable cities to live in. Number 1, the cheapest place to live with the highest quality of life is Hickory, North Carolina. Number 2, Youngstown, Ohio. Number 3, Huntington, West Virginia. Number 4, Huntsville, Alabama. Go Tide. Number 5, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Number 6, Beaumont, Texas. Number 7, Peoria, Illinois. Number 8, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Number 9, Knoxville, Tennessee. Number 10, Spartanburg, South Carolina. Number 11, Greenville, South Carolina. Number 12, Fayetteville, Arkansas. Number 13, South Bend, Indiana. Number 14, Bronzeville, Texas. And number 15, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Is inflation truly decreasing? The true extent of inflation is being intentionally downplayed by the government, with indications that it is likely 2 to 3 times higher than officially reported. Despite the Consumer Price Index, CPI, showing a decrease, inflation remains twice as high as the Federal Reserve's target. From a consumer's perspective, it doesn't feel like inflation has cooled down when we consider the rising costs of shelter, food, and transportation, largely driven by escalating energy prices. But the most recent CPI report showed a decline to 3% in June from a peak of 9.1% from June 2022. This is 12 consecutive months of declines. The government's manipulation of CPI data is aimed at deceiving consumers regarding the actual inflation rate. This is manipulation at its best. This manipulation is supported by evidence such as increasing credit card debt, dwindling savings accounts of Americans all across the United States of America, and stagnant real wages. Moreover, healthcare costs have soared by over 225% since 2006. Inflation, in essence, acts as a hidden tax, and the government intentionally understates its true rate in order to erode debt and deflects, which have accumulated to a staggering $21 trillion since 2001. Given factors such as oil prices and demand fluctuations, my best estimate is that the true inflation could reach a range of 8 to 12% by 2024. It is worth noting that the government's manipulation of oil prices for political gain has had adverse effects on both the military and the economy, leading to a bear market for oil and gas, while bond markets are signaling a recession. And we've been talking about us experiencing the depression that's coming. The equity markets are performing well, possibly due to the AI bubble, which is a crucial phenomenon to monitor, being a Gen Xer. Anticipated inflation for next year is around 6%, and the strength of the dollar is no longer a factor for global pricing, potentially impacting the price of gold. Although the summer may appear uneventful in terms of inflation and banking crisis, there is a potential of a liquidity squeeze in the fall. It is crucial to exercise caution when considering information sources, as there's a significant disparity between reported and actual inflation. In light of these factors, it is essential to stay informed and make sound financial decisions. Don't rely solely on the narratives presented to you. Take an active role in understanding the true state of inflation and its potential implications. Empower yourself with knowledge and ensure you're well prepared to navigate the ever-changing economic landscape. Investment firm Tides Equity is in a cash crunch, according to a real estate deal. A real estate news outlet that obtained a copy of the Tides Equity investor letter. The co-founder stated that the company is experiencing a cash liquidity crunch due to the increasing interest rates. Tides, an investment firm based in Los Angeles, California, emerged as one of the most aggressive buyers of multifamily properties in 2021 and 2022, acquiring over $6.5 billion worth of apartments in Sunbelt markets, some of which experienced substantial rent growth during that period. In the letter, Tides explained that the properties that were previously generating positive cash flow during renovation periods are now struggling financially, as a significant portion of operating revenues is being allocated to rapidly rising mortgage payments. Consequently, many properties have entered a negative cash flow situation. According to an analysis conducted by TRD using data from DBRS Morningstar, Tides Equities has approximately $1.5 billion across 47 loans that will mature by the end of 2025. The median loan size is $29 million, with the firm's largest loan maturing by 2025, amounting to $99 million. Debt service coverage ratios indicate that at 9 properties located in Mesa, Arizona, Las Vegas, Fort Worth, Austin, and Louisville, Texas, Tides is generating insufficient income to meet all of its payments. As of June, the average interest rate on Tides loans is 3.91%, with the highest rate at 6.9% applied to Tides on country clubs, a 582 unit complex actually in Mesa. Real Estate Alert, the source that first reported on the letter, stated that up to 20% of Tide's portfolio, consisting of approximately 32,000 units, may require capital calls, as confirmed by Andrade, who spoke to publication. Andrade also mentioned that Tides explore various strategies to raise cash before resorting to capital calls. In the meantime, Tides is temporarily utilizing its own funds to assist in making mortgage payments while waiting for additional capital to help their financial challenges. The co-founder ended the letter with handing back the keys to the lender was a possibility. Now, this is happening all across the United States of America with the commercial market and the liquidity crisis that's happening from the depository banks that are also holding on to this paper that's going to be recasting with rates of 8, 9, 10, 11%. As we wrap up episode 17 of Behind the Curtain, I want to thank all of you in tuning in. Navigating the ever-evolving financial landscape can be challenging, but it's our shared quest for understanding, our willingness to face these challenges head-on that keeps us moving forward. I hope that today's discussion not only enlightened you, but also sparked a deeper curiosity about the economic dynamics shaping our world. From the potential implications of Biden's new mortgage lending fees, the unfolding narrative of the Airbnb market, to the potential repossessions of Tide Equity's financial instability, each element paints a broader picture of our interconnected financial world. The diverse list of the most expensive and affordable cities underlines the economic disparities and opportunities that coexist. Remember, knowledge is power, and understanding these trends is key to building and preserving our financial legacies. As always, I encourage you to keep questioning, keep exploring, and never stop learning. I'm Mehdi Amini, CEO of United Legacy, and it's been a privilege to guide you through these fascinating topics. Let's continue to pull back the curtain together. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and stay positive. Good night, everyone.